see me, you don't see me. It's on my ass! Hey, relay, what's up, cuz? Oh! I'm gonna make it. This might be my disqualification right here. Take that back.
What am I doing? Moving with a car.
Somebody make a move.
Executing on my flaws. I'm not hurt by your accusation. Not at all. You sleep okay, I hope you not at all. Heart being slower off the trump at all. Willie wake up.
Push it down. Oh my god. Fuck it up one time. Fuck it up one time. Alright, what's up, YouTube? It's D.Thegreatest. Honestly, today is gonna be a little different. This is a reaction video, but as you can see, well-known YouTuber that y'all know by Jacksepticeye first and foremost. Jack, I would like to say nice to meet you. Name's D.Thegreatest. If you so happen to see this video, you can call me D. Hope you don't mind me using your video. I've seen a little bit of it and then stopped and decided to record and share my thoughts along with the video for other people in the comments that should see my video to jump on board. Honestly, I've seen Corey's, I've seen your first video, I've seen other YouTubers, and I was like, man, I'm gonna stay out of it, not speak on it, because first thing that comes to mind is he's doing it for the views. Which, nigga, those are gonna come regardless. Anyway, depending on whatever I drop. I'm new now, but don't count me out. Other than that, why not speak on it? Even though I'm a new YouTuber, which is probably career suicide for most people. That's how they think, but I don't care. It's a real situation here, so why not? So I hope you don't mind if I use your video. That's a long talk that I just gave. Let's get into it.
I wanted to make another video on this topic because some things have changed in the background since the last time, and I've met with my YouTube rep in the meantime to kind of talk about some of the issues that I brought up in my video and to talk in general about feedback for YouTube and various other things that have been going on, because the whole internet seems to have been rallying against YouTube on their own platform in the last week because of all the videos that have been coming out, and it's become sort of a trend to talk about it and kind of get your gripes out of the way, which I think is great. I think that that's how change gets made, because otherwise it just kind of gets lost and then no one ever talks about it again. As we see with a lot of these topics, they trend very quickly and then they die off very quickly. So I wanted to kind of keep pressure.
Like, that being said, he pointed out a good fact that, like I'm doing now, making this video, it may get a few views here and there, and then poof, gone the next. But that's basically how YouTube runs. Something they don't like, they get rid of it instantly or bury it as much as they can. Which I find to be an issue, especially for newer people. You don't meet this so quota or set way that they want things to happen. They just bury you. And they don't even have to tell you that they're doing it. It's just easy to do. The algorithm's set to do it itself, which we all know that, but I just think it's too tight gloved on this and that, or get down or lay down mentality that YouTube is putting on right now.
On in a little bit of a way, but also explain some context for some things that have happened since then, because we did the videos initially because of Corey's video, and I wanted to make sure that his message was heard, and also to bring up some other issues that I think YouTube had and to give some sort of feedback in that regard. And since then, Mark uploaded a video called the Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge, which was a game that he recorded like months ago, but now just so happened to fit right into the stuff that was going on.
Gotta add, by the way, this is Koro, my new pet cat.
Did you download Grammarly?
Bad and does
Come on,
everything.
man, everyone's using it. If you want to...
So it was very, it was perfect timing for that. And then I had an eye tracker video that I was trying to get out and tried to get greenlit for a while that was proving troublesome, which I knew it would, but that I also did that video then as well, and also called it the Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge, just to kind of like poke some buttons and like kick a hornet's nest at it in a way, and kind of like test the systems in a way. And I will say, since that video went up, okay, I'll give context on the video because I did in the last one, but in case you don't know, I recorded the eye tracker video, obviously with the intent of kind of like pushing the boundaries of what the system was going to allow. That wasn't the whole point of the video in the first place. I just wanted to see what I could do and then make it a fun video and kind of like react to the salacious stuff in it.
I commend you
make
for
it entertaining that way, but we had to censor it so much because it kept coming back saying that it was flagged and it was not suitable for advertisers. And I was like, you know what, that's absolutely fair. There's a lot of like nudity in it. I had to censor a lot of it. A lot of it is still implied. So there was a lot of stuff in it that I knew. I was even like willing to bite the bullet on it and say, okay, maybe we'll just upload this video and not have it be monetizable. And it'll just be a fun video that people can watch. But we kept trying anyway. And then one day, Trey was working on an edit of it to try and get some more censors in it to see what we could get away with. And I was just like, you know what, let me appeal this one first. And then when I appealed it, 2 days went by and it came back and it said it was manually reviewed and that it was given the green light. So it got the green icon instead of the yellow one, meaning it was suitable for advertisers. And I thought, okay, great. It seems like the system itself auto-flagged some stuff and triggered the yellow icon. And then someone manually reviewed it, supposedly a human at YouTube, and were like, yeah, there's enough censors in this, you can get away with it. And then it was greenlit. And then I uploaded the video and called it the Try Not to Get Age Restricted challenge. Since then, it hasn't been age restricted, but it did get flagged again, which is part of the problem that I said. And I knew uploading it that was a potential that was going to happen. And that was a reason kind of why I uploaded it again anyway.
That
after that
algorithm
appeal and didn't try and censor it any further, because I was like, let's just see if my theory holds water that it can get greenlit by someone at YouTube and then it can get flagged again later. And I brought this up to my rep yesterday because that inconsistency and saying like, well, it said someone reviewed it and now it's saying that someone manually reviewed it again and it wasn't deemed viable for YouTube. And I was like, why is that a thing? And obviously, he doesn't have all the answers either. And again, I absolutely love my YouTube rep. He's always fighting in our corner and trying his best for the creators. So I don't want anybody out there at YouTube to ever like get mad at him. But some of the stuff obviously can't be told to me because you can't give over the keys to the kingdom. They also don't know 100% how the algorithm works and what it's chasing and everything. And it's probably good that people don't know that, because then you can just game the system way too easily, and that brings up a whole...
I'm kind of glad that he said that. Being as it may, yeah, that's true. People could game the system if they know about it, which they don't need to know, but the algorithm needs to be checked. It needs a fix. There's somewhere in there that's not right. But obviously, they know that. There's no way in hell they don't. And they just don't care. This is a click of a button reprogramming. You have a lot of workers. There's no way in hell you can't fix this within like a day. There's no way.
Whole mess of problems as well. And I think what's happening, which I mentioned in the last video, is that users flagging videos it can be abused really easily. I said it before that the Koro Digital channel got hacked and then they got mass reported for being hacked because the audience wanted YouTube to know, hey, it's hacked, can you give it back to them? But what ends up happening then is that the system is like, oh, it's mass reported, something's going on, removes the whole channel. And I wondered
that's
how
not the answer.
Abusive that could be. And another good example of this is that Evelyn uploaded the mortuary assistant. It got flagged for the self-harm sort of themes that were in it, as did I. And
I'm currently playing that on my channel too, and I've yet to get to that part. Thanks to them, I now know that I have to split that part off my whole thing just to be safe. Or I'll risk the same issue, which right now, if I take a hit like that, wouldn't be good at all for my channel. I'm still growing.
But after that, I think because users were flagging videos a lot, she started getting emails from YouTube being like, are you okay? Are you self-harming? Are you suicidal? Things like that. So it's hard to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes and why these things are happening. But what I'm trying to boil this down to, sorry, I'm getting so rambly. My thoughts are everywhere. What I'm trying to boil this down to is that I don't like that I can upload something, it gets yellow flagged. That was totally fine. That was fair. I understood that.
Stop.
Then it gets greenlit by somebody at YouTube after I appealed it. And I'm like, oh, somebody manually reviewed it. Great. That means that it's safe now. And then I upload it and then it gets flagged again. So either people reported the video and then it brought up attention and then YouTube went in and manually reviewed it again.
Koro.
And someone with stricter protocols came in and said, actually, that's not necessary, which means two people in that department, if it was two separate people, didn't talk to each other.
At all.
Or it was the same person again and they got flack for users flagging it. And then they were like, oh crap, I need to actually flag this again. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's a whole mess of like hierarchy and communication and everything going on in that chain of command.
Which is disorganization, which is not good for a company at all. Like, how do I put this? Because no company is perfect, but you have a set way to do things. And it's like YouTube did so good for years. Because I literally, like, I grew up with YouTube. I wasn't a YouTuber, but I watched YouTube as a child all the way up to the point here I am now, trying to do it. They had a set way they did things, and it worked. I don't know if a change of command happened or what, but, like, everybody noticed the change. It drastically just went down. And it's obvious, and it's literally a sad thing to see because we all still love YouTube, but not the way it's moving right now. Not at all.
And that just doesn't make any sense. And it seems like that's the problem at YouTube in general, is that the policy team don't talk to the marketing team, don't talk to the reps. Like, there's so many different departments going on because it's a massive machine of an industry that they're doing. And I get that as well, but there needs to be more communication on their end so then we get better communication. If at the source you're not talking to each other, how the hell are we supposed to know what the hell is going on? Another example of this...
or have a set team that
Mark,
does
I'm
that
so sorry,
for
I keep
you.
Bringing you into this, but something else happened with him recently that...
Regardless of if it's stuff at school, stuff at work, stuff within the family, I feel like...
They had the Game On event that we were all part of.
Koro, stop.
And I did like a Minecraft section. Mark did his own like analog horror thing that he wanted to put in. And it was like a live stream that people could vote on decisions. And it was like pre-recorded, but you could effectively like pick the options of where it was going to go. And we recorded like a whole bunch of different versions of it to make it a more interactive live stream. And it was fun. It could use some work. It wasn't perfect, but for what it was pretty fun. But they marketed it as having Mark in it. When I was in LA, I was talking to Mark about his idea and what he was doing, and he was working on it while I was there. And it sounded really cool. And then the thing came out, Mark tweeted that, oh, watch Game On because I'm in it. YouTube reacted to that and were like, yeah, everyone go watch the stream, and linked to it. And then his section came up. There was a minute-long section of him doing an intermission, and then the rest of it got removed. He had a whole thing planned that all got removed from the stream, and he didn't know about it until the stream was over, and then he was tweeting about it being like, wait, did they cut my section?
And that's crazy to me. Like, this man is if not one of your best YouTubers besides Mr. Beast and PewDiePie, and a few others I could name. Why would you go and do that for a person that literally helps? He's beneficial to your company, and you go and cut him. Not that he would need whatever he could benefit from it. Most likely he's getting paid for it, obviously. But, like, not that he would need it because the fan base is crazy. Kudos to him. He earned it. But, like, at the same time, that's not how you do things. If you had a disagreement with this man, why couldn't you just call him, email him, talk to him? You just went in like that. Makes bad blood, bruh.
And I mean, I don't know the exact specifics of why it was cut. A lot of people think it was cut because he did the age-restricted challenge video that day, and then that night they cut the content. That's not true. They didn't cut it because of that. I've worked with YouTube for a long time. They do not work that fast. And I asked Mark about it, and he said that they cut it for time or something like that. I don't know. That's his thing to discuss. All I know is that it wasn't cut for the sake of him saying something against them. I mean, I criticized him in a video before that as well, and did an age-restricted challenge video. they should have cut my section then as well. Like,
I still see it as them slapping Mark on the wrist.
That theory just doesn't make any sense, and all it did was rile people up and make them even angrier at YouTube for saying they were censoring him. And I feel like that kind of mentality is dragging us away from the main issues that Corey or I or Charlie or anybody else was bringing up during this. And I want to give actual genuine feedback and criticism and possible solutions to things instead of just getting mad and yelling at people and being like, no, YouTube suck. Because, I mean, they don't want their creators to fail, surprisingly, despite what people may think. They actually want the platform to succeed. And
no
for
shit.
Us
what are they without their creators,
for our videos to do well. It's just a big system that people aren't talking to each other. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because I feel like the people who replied to Mark on Twitter didn't know his section was cut, as well as Mark didn't. And I feel like the people who were marketing the entire event and using him in the articles and using him in like the video, the trailer that they put up, and like using his face everywhere, I don't think they knew that he was cut either. He still had a very tiny section in it, but his main section was completely cut out of it.
But still, like, that being said, even if it wasn't for his video, which I'm still on the fence that was a slap on the wrist. Like, I'm not saying that even if they didn't, the timing is crazy to me. Very crazy to me. So I still had that possibility in my head. I'm not going to say I'm 100% believing that, but it's crazy. And then, not only that, how inconsiderate can you be, though? Like, it's not that hard to email this man before making a decision. As much as you love your content creators, why you ain't talking to him? Like, literally. If you care, speak. I get it, you're busy, but at the same time, you're using this man for one of your programs. And he's willingly taking his time to give you content to put in. You could have the common decency to message that man.
And I think that boils down to a lot of departments not talking to each other either. Which just sucks. Because what are we supposed to do if YouTube don't know what they're doing either? And that's why I'm trying to talk about it, to just kind of like shine a light on it, to be like, hey, you guys need to be better so we can do what we do and not be left up to a system that is so inconsistent, so unknowable, and so just out of our control.
Inconsiderate.
It just makes us not want to upload content or be very, very scared about the types of things that we can upload because everything is so vague. I don't have all the answers either. For some people, this will just sound like complaining, but I genuinely just want to see change happen on the platform where everybody is treated fairly, where some people, like Mark and I's videos, didn't get age restricted, but Ethan uploaded a video about his 10-year anniversary and that got age restricted. I don't exactly know what content was in that, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it yet, but I'm assuming there's probably not a whole lot in it that should be age restricted. So it just feels like some people get treated differently than others, which of course shouldn't be a thing. We should all be treated fairly across the entire platform, because otherwise, what does it look like? I've done stuff with YouTube in the past. I'm a huge YouTuber. If I get treated more fairly than some other people, makes everybody look bad. It's just makes the system seem completely unfair, and I don't want that either. I feel,
which is very factual that he said that, because like, he pretty much said it himself, but you know, it's my video, so I'm gonna talk too. But favoritism, he does this, they don't do anything about it. The smaller YouTuber does this, they lay down the law. It builds a rift within the community. You will start having small YouTubers disliking the big YouTubers, which also is another hit to the small YouTubers, because why would you get mad with these bigger YouTubers when that's not in their control? Even if they sit and say nothing. Unlike Mark, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, that has said something to them at least once. Corey Kenshin recently, which I'm glad he did. But at the same time, like, those are people you could collaborate with. I say go at the company, but at the same time, don't go at the company with ignorance. It's not gonna solve anything. Getting aggressive and yelling will not solve anything, bro. It's just a whole headache. Get down to the point, be concise, pinpoint the problems, make a solution.
I feel like some solutions to this could be originally when we had the copyright system and we would get claimed for a song or something was in a clip or whatever. Normally it used to just say this video was claimed by blah blah blah. And that was it. It was just a blanket thing across the entire video. People complained a lot about it. People gave feedback to YouTube about it. Now, most times you get copyright claimed, it has to tell you the specific section that is claimed. And that's great because now as a YouTuber, I can go into the YouTube editor, which is like after the video is uploaded, there's an editor on YouTube that I can go into and trim out a section of the video. It takes a couple of hours to process. And then suddenly the copyright claim gets removed, that clip is gone, the video might be a little wonky because it's not in the original edit and it's not extensive editing tools, but now at least we have an ability to chop that section out, our video is fine, goes out to everybody, perfectly monetizable again. And there are other...
That or the beta thing, which is what I use. Basically, the beta thing within the editor, say you got a copyright claim on a song. For me, I don't want to cut any of my gameplay because it might clip the best moment or fuck up the video for me. When I'm like, oh, I don't like the way this looks, I might take it down. The beta thing gives you the option to where it can remove the music and keep your original audio, which is something I pretty much prefer. I love the shit come out of beta and be in full effect. It's a hit or miss here and there. It takes a while, but honestly, that's a good feature YouTube came up with. I would like to see it be more developed. And personally, I would like that to be like the only option. Because who wants to trim out a section that they've had spent time to record and edit, and then boom, they posted and uploaded to YouTube this song that they have no control over in some games that don't give you the option to play non-copyright music, and you got to take the hit. I had a few. Life is Strange that I'm doing now. I'm trying to finish. There's a few there. Don't affect my channel, thank God. But at the same time, quite annoying.
There are sections of YouTube now with like, I thought I saw at one point that I got balanced ads on something. So I didn't get fully ad restricted. I got claimed for something and it got ad balanced or something. I can't remember the terminology for it. And it meant that I still got to earn a portion of the video while the other person got, or somebody else got to earn a portion, or it wasn't fully demonetized. That's also a step in the right direction, where everything isn't just carpet bombed right out the gate. And I think for any content that's age restricted or ad restricted, we also need those systems in place where we should be allowed to know exactly what is getting restricted. If I get ad restricted for something, it should tell me the section that's getting restricted. For the mortuary assistant, it was obvious because it said it was for self-harm. There was an obvious section in that game that showed that, so I didn't have to guess.
Which I'm glad to know that now before I even get to that gameplay.
Or age restriction goes away. I don't know how that works, which again is a problem. But also, I feel like if we get age restricted or ad restricted or something gets flagged in that video, it should be told to us what it is, like the copyright system. So we can know what to trim out, what to fix. We can start getting better about knowing exactly what YouTube don't like. And I feel like also if users are going to flag videos, they should also have to say, especially for the more serious ones, like if there's hate speech or if there's self-harm or suicidal themes in it, I feel like for sections like that, like the mortuary assistant, I feel like the users should also have to say a timestamp for where that stuff is. Now, maybe there's reasons for not doing that I don't know because I don't run the company and I don't know I don't know how any of this stuff could sort of backfire potentially, but I feel like that's a step in the right direction as well.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to have that where if a user flags a video, they have to explain why they flagged it, because in other words, why did you do it? In some cases, I can see where YouTube reads it and they find out that the flag is really not worth anything, and they don't flag it because it holds no weight, and that user gets an attitude about it. There's a lot of Karens in the world. I don't know what y'all call the male Karen equivalent, but there's those that happen to be on the internet. If this is a feature, they're gonna have to deal with that because there's gonna be a lot of them. There always is. Personally, cancel culture people too. I can't really stand y'all, to be honest. There's a lot of shit that y'all don't need to be canceling, but you do, and the shit that you need to be canceling. That's a whole nother topic. I'm gonna get off of that for right now.
Clarity and communication across all systems are what we need and what YouTube need, and then everybody just kind of knows where we stand, and we can move on and do content a bit more accurately and a bit more fairly. But right now we're in this sort of nebulous space where we don't know. Some people on YouTube obviously know the systems better than I would because I don't get into the weeds of it. But it's just really confusing. There's too much in it that just I don't get. And I feel like that stuff needs to change. And again, I want to make these videos to kind of pioneer some change and actually give feedback and some potential solutions to things. And that's what I hope everybody wants to do, instead of just yelling at the problem and telling YouTube they suck and bring back the dislikes and that kind of thing, because that's not helping anything. That's not that's not how change gets made. Anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to say right now. Not a whole lot, but I just, for what was going on in the last week since my last video, a lot has changed, and my YouTube rep also clarified a bunch of stuff about like swearing and like videos doing badly and all that stuff, and that cleared up a lot for me. That swearing wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was. It was originally, but now the system's gotten a lot better at detecting swears versus hate speech versus words that are very much not allowed. And there's like a certain amount of swears. Like if you're swearing back to back to back to back, obviously you're going to get flagged for stuff. But just hearing that stuff and kind of having someone that I can talk to at YouTube is very nice. And I know not everybody who does YouTube has that opportunity. So that's another reason to do these videos, is to kind of just give my experience about what's going on, because I have the privilege of being able to actually talk to them about it. So again, would just love to know thoughts in the comments if there's anything else that you would like to see feedback on or that YouTube need to know. I gave them a lot of feedback when I met him and talked over a bunch of the different systems and a bunch of different things that were going on in the platform and what people are kind of like complaining about and what people on my end don't like and what people on your end as the viewers don't like either. And I think a lot of that feedback will go back and hit their ears. Whether that gets implemented, I have no idea. That's up to them. And all I can do is what I've done. But that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you whenever.
All right. That being said, like, let me get my wording together. I don't really have complaints as a viewer. Not really, not at all. Actually, no, I don't. Not as a viewer, but like as a content creator, a new one. There's a lot of things that I don't like, and obviously my voice is not big enough to make an effect on that. At least I think for right now. But like, there's a lot of clarity that's needed. Like, clarity is the correct word, I believe. That needs to be put down. Like, everything's a little too vague, which kind of like gives the new creators, makes them not want to record. This jumped on my shirt. Makes them not want to record, kind of degrades them, makes them want to quit almost. And I have a friend, he does YouTube by the name of Yang Juice. He's just now getting back to recording. He even talked to me about quitting. He just didn't think that YouTube was worth it anymore, which to me bothered me a little bit because, like, why quit when you enjoy doing it? I know the outcome isn't great right now. The outcome for me is not even great right now, but I still do it anyway, pushing on. But at the same time, YouTube, if you do see this, which you probably will because I'm using another YouTuber's video, which can also get me copyrighted, by the way, if they don't deem me necessary to use their video, hopefully Jack will allow it. I'm taking a hit with this, trying to get my point across. But anyway, back to it. That mindset can happen to all your new creators, and these other creators eventually they will move on. Most of them do. They may make a return, but after a while they're not gonna want to keep doing this. They're gonna want to do other things outside of life besides recording on a day-to-day basis. Like, basically, this is a running machine. We have you, the company, the creators, and the viewers. If one part in the machine breaks, the machine doesn't work. So I don't know where we fell off from that ideology, but we need to get back to it. I don't know how long this video is, and I don't want to drag it out. So like, comment, subscribe. Put your thoughts in the comments as well. Jack, I hope you find it okay for me to use your video. I do enjoy your content, as well as the other YouTubers that I have named in this video. That being said, I'm out here.
Y'all ain't seen enough. I'm about my shit. Why the fuck would I ever bluff? Electrical wiring, niggas do double just slice at it. Twist with the blade. That's a tummy tuck. Action correction, not just for the stomach.